Hello, this is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers Mastery, and today we are in our Shopify 90-day Q4 intensive plan, and this is session number 2. So welcome to the Shopify workshop session number 2. So before we get started into this session, I want to just check in with everybody who participated in the Shopify training for session 1. There's a lot of great information that was shared. So I want to see if you were able to rewatch the last session, if you were able to access the eCom Sellers Mastery membership site, if you were able to join the eCom Sellers Mastery Facebook group. Did you take the opportunity to write down your why? Because as you're on this journey, different things are going to happen, and it's going to be extremely important that you know why you did this, why you're doing it. Did you complete your 90-day real work schedule? Again, your emphasis will be initially on setup, but then after that, it's going to be on listing and running ads, driving traffic to your store. And also, did you, at that same time, start looking at your budget? What is your budget for this Shopify, for setting up your Shopify store and to run ads? What money have you set aside to do this? Did you decide on your store model or your business model? That was one of the things that we gave you to do, to work on that. We also asked you to conduct some keyword research regarding your niche. So did you get that done? And did you go ahead and create your tracking email account so that as you go on this journey, as you reach out to vendors or suppliers or whoever, if you're doing physical products, or you get invoices for other things, that you have all that information in one email account. And then what questions do you have for this particular Shopify training series? So make sure that you put your questions in the chat and we'll go through them and answer your questions as we go along. So last week we covered your mindset, talking about your mindset and what mindset you need to be able to run this business, building a real work schedule, why you should choose Shopify. Like Shopify is a great option to make money in the e-commerce space, understanding how Shopify works. We talked about the store model and the business model, and we also discussed understanding and defining your niche. Today's class, we're going to be talking about setting up your Shopify store and your address and your email address, defining your store, looking at store themes. We're going to talk about collections, menus, and features in your store. In addition to that, we're going to set up your domain and logo or work towards that. And we're going to talk about creating your social media assets. So important. All right, so before we get into all of this, and I'm sorry, I have that floating GoToMeeting control panel thing, drives me bananas. Okay, or not GoToMeeting, sorry, Zoom. So I just want to give you some general information about Shopify. We talked about why Shopify last week, but I wanted to give you some additional information that may be helpful to you. So the great thing about Shopify is it's going to host your website. So you don't have to pay extra for hosting. And that's after you choose which Shopify plan you want. And we're going to talk about your Shopify plans in a second. You'll have a dashboard so you can set up your and manage your account. You're going to have access to paid themes and free themes. And so the themes are what control the look and feel of your store. So as you go through the themes, I want you to be thinking about, what field or industry are you going to be in? As far as your store is concerned, what kind of overall design do you want to express in your business? Like, do you want to be fun and whimsical? Do you want it to be really kind of professional? Do you want it to be minimal? What do you want it to be? What are some of the outstanding features that you want to include? And we're going to talk about how you figure out some of that. We're going to make some notes about things. And then how can your store be differentiated between your competitors? How can it look different? And what do you want to arrange? How do you want to arrange your navigation? Like, how do you want your navigation? Again, we're going to look at some look and feel today. In addition to that, you have the ability to add an infinite number or unlimited number of products, and we're going to see that in the product pricing, the pricing for Shopify, and the data capacity. That's different than some other store platforms. And you can get reports and statistics on your store. So that's going to be extremely important in helping you make data data-driven decisions as you go through in your business. We talked about the free and paid themes. You also have free and paid apps. And these are, again, going to help your store stand out, going to control the look and feel and how your store operates. You have 24/7 support with Shopify, which is great. So if you run into problems with your store, you have that 24/7 support. Your Shopify store is integrated with social media, so you can pin things from onto Facebook and on Pinterest since it's integrated. In addition to that, you can use your Shopify store to sell online or in person. Some of you may have brick and mortars, and so that's another great opportunity for you. And you have access to a Shopify community, which is a great thing. So, if you don't get an immediate answer from support, you can always reach out to the Shopify community. So I want to talk about the Shopify pricing. And I'm going to recommend initially that you start off with the basic Shopify account. I think as you continue in your Shopify journey and you make money, you could upgrade to the $79 plan. But initially, I recommend you start off with the $29. As we get everything set up, we start to get some traction and some traffic, and then you'll be able to upgrade when you're ready to a higher plan. And so you get pretty much at the $29 level, you get all of these features. So they're the same across all three levels. You just have more staff accounts with the higher price store, and then you have multiple locations. Then as I go down, the other things that I want to point out with the Shopify store is that with the $29 plan, you get access to some basic stuff. If you want the professional reports, you got to go up to the $79 plan. If you want some specialized report builder functionality or third-party shipping, rates calculated, you're going to have to go up to the $299 plan. In addition to that, based off of your shipping discounts, initially you're going to get up to 64% off. As you continue to go to the higher price plans, it jumps at the $79 plan to 72%, and then at the higher plan at 74%. So you get a bigger discount, and that's assuming that you're running a store that's more profitable, gets more traffic, has more sales. So again, until you get more profit and have more traction and traffic in your store, I would stay at the lower level until you're ready to go. And then you also get cubic mailing pricing with USPS with the higher plans. And then last but not least, you also get some discounts on your credit card rates and your in-person credit card rates. Now I'm going to assume the majority of you, this is all an online store, but if you're doing in-person, you get some discounted rates the higher the plan you are. So initially, your online credit card fee rate is going to be 2.9% and 30 cents. Actually, I think it's the exact same as PayPal and might be the exact same as Stripe. And then as you go up to the higher plans, it goes to 2.6 and 2.4. In addition to that, the additional fee for Shopify payments, other than Shopify payments, is 2% versus 1% versus 0.5%. So again, something to think about. And if you go up to the Point of Sale Pro, then the price goes up an additional $89. So I just wanted you to know about the Shopify pricing. Again, we're going to recommend that you start off at the $29 level, and then you can upgrade. All right, so now we're at a place where we're almost ready to create our Shopify store. So before you get started setting up your store, there's some things that I want you to do. I want you to really review 4 different Shopify stores that might be similar to what you're wanting to do. Meaning, if you're going to sell cat toys, then go look for some Shopify stores that sell cat toys. And just kind of look at the layout, look at their colors, look at their fonts, look at their menu options. Go and look at that. That's going to help you develop some ideas about your own store. Or stores that are in a similar niche. Maybe you're selling cat toys and someone else is selling cat beds. So again, still about cats, not exactly the same niche, but it is about cats. So you can go and look at that. I'm not a cat fan, so just use as an example because we have a couple of cat examples. So we're going to review a couple of different store models, and we're also going to look at a couple of business models, and we're going to look at a couple of different stores so that you can get what I'm talking about when it comes to looking at, looking at the logo, look at the colors, look at the fonts, look at the menus, and make some notes. Like you need to get your notepad out if you don't, or if you're on a computer, pull up notepad and write it out, type it out or write it out on a regular notepad, because this is a great opportunity for you to figure out, what's going to work for you. So I'm going to escape out of this. Let me go back up. We're going to escape. So we're going to go to the first store and later. All right, so this store is, just move the floater. So this store is Mountains, and it's a Shopify store. So I want you to see at the top, they've got this bar up here that's an immediate for, limited stock available. You got a coupon code up there. So that's good to know. As you get closer to Black Friday, maybe you want to put something like that up there. Then you've got, your little order, and see how they have a little cat in a box up there. Again, graphics that you may want to order. Then you've got the cart. You see their logo here. You see their colors. And then you also see this theme that they're using right now for fall for some of their graphics, where they put the pictures on the inside as I scroll down, and you can go and look at this yourself. And you see like cat costumes, which is crazy. You see what they're offering, Mountains. They've got their own little box here. They've got the little spider webs, this whole theme here. And then for humans, they've got a drop down for humans, for cats. So they've kind of grouped things together in collections. Your masks, Halloween, print your pet, trending, clearance, and about, and Milton's Comic Club. So as I scroll down, you can also see some of their products. So again, I would encourage you, like you've got the little sale icon here. When I float over it for the product, I can click on Quick View to kind of see some of the products. I see the pricing. I see some of the strike-throughs that they've done on this particular page. Okay. So think about ideas. Then as I scroll down, see that they have their social media. They have their Facebook, their Twitter, their Instagram. So you can go and look at their Facebook, their Twitter, their Instagram. And then at the bottom, they've got news. You can sign up for their newsletter. So they want you to subscribe. They've got all their social media tags with a little cat feature. They've got the credit cards down here, contact us, shipping. So again, paying attention to what they've done. And then they also have their little customer review thing that shows up here. I'm assuming that this is probably a Google domain. That's my guess. Maybe, maybe not. So make some notes about this particular Shopify store and some thoughts. So we're going to go to another one. This is heavily inspired. Now, okay, so let me just go back to this. This model is physical products and print on demand. You can tell that they've got print on demand shirts. They've got physical products. They've got the print on demand masks. They've got the coffee mugs. So again, print on demand. So they've got a combination of print on demand and physical products in this particular store. Okay. The next one is heavily inspired. This is also a combination of physical products and print on demand. So I want you to notice their logo. Notice their colors. They've got their 800 number at the top along with their email address. Their options are up at the top. Okay, they don't drop down, but you can click on them. So they're very noticeable on a white bar. They've got the little cart. They've got some pictures here. Shop all products in the middle. About us. You can learn about them. They've got their apparel. They've got stuff for the home and stuff for footwear. So again, they put things into collections. So they kind of group things together, something to think about. This is their print on demand. You can see their shirts, a quick view, see how they're dropped down for their quick view. Okay, notice that, the things that are on sale. Here's their print on demand for shoes. Again. Okay, so you notice that. Then they're going into jewelry. You notice their products, quick view. Okay. Then the next thing that you see as I scroll down, other products. So they've got coffee cups and coffee mugs. They've got a cutting board. This is print on demand, print on demand, print on demand. Most of this is print on demand. So again, you can see that they have a combination. They allow you to sign up for special giveaways and offers. They've got your customer care information. All of this is clickable. Policy information, contact us. And again, they have their contact information at the very, very top. Okay. And then they've got their social media links here. And then they've got their credit card stuff down below this line. So again, different kind of store, different layout, different structure. All right, then the next one is Pip Snacks. So Pip Snacks, this one's a whimsical, I think it's a fun one. So they've got the spend $30 free shipping at the top. Pipcorn, Pip Snacks. Notice that this says Pipcorn, this is bounces, so this is a GIF. And this says Pip Snacks. So again, this site has corn on it, but evidently they're going to do other snacks. We got a store locator, so that would tell me that they probably have their in stores somewhere. About Us kind of folds down, which is pretty cool. Shipping, so sorry, shop, not shipping. So you see what they have for sale right now. Buy now is in the middle. And then their stuff moves on their page, which is pretty cool, some animation. That's some advanced stuff. I'm not going to be covering that, but that's some advanced stuff. Then you see some of the products that they sell. Okay. As I rest over it, it kind of moves. And we have add to cart, learn more. Then they have a cause that they're supporting, which is great, giving back. And then as I continue to go down, 15% off if you subscribe. They're asking for your name, your email address. It's a great way to build your list, great way to make some money. Then they have all of these options for, wholesale. If you can set up a wholesale account. So do you want to have a wholesale account for your products? Are you making something? Is there something you already had, a private label product, and you want to do wholesale so people can buy directly from you? Or do you want to do something different? And then you have your social media assets. Again, you can click on them and go directly to the pages that they've already got linked. Terms of use. All right, the next one. So this is Tailor Stitch. I can tell you that most of these, there's a pop-up that comes up on the page. Because I've actually been on this page for a little while, the pop-up doesn't come up. So let me just refresh real quick. And so the pop-up is immediately, I believe, giving me either a 10 or 15 or 20% off, and it's asking for my name and email address. It normally pops up at around 15 seconds or 10 seconds. Some of them pop up at 5 seconds. Okay, another feature. So we have messages. It says new messages 5. Then we got 20% off of your first purchase up here. That's normally what the pop-up is. When I do the refresh, it'll actually pop up in the middle of the page. But again, I've been sitting on this page too long. Then notice the photographs, like the rotation of amazing photographs that they have here. It's pretty much the same model. There's only like 2 or 3 models on this one, which is something to think about. Okay. And they're just doing a rotation of some really great clothes. So they've got a great model, or maybe it's the store owner. Click on shop. Once I rest my mouse on shop, the shirts pop up. I can click on them and go and look at them. I also have some more options over here. Accessories, footwear, outerwear, denim, bottoms. Okay, notice that. We have essentials. If I rest my mouse on essentials, if I click on it, workshop, base, last call, I'm assuming that's clearance and dispatch. You also see the about and help. So what they're featuring here is the photographs, and they've made the little buttons really light. A store design. They've chosen a specific font. So go back and look at some of this. Again, so their color is this blue up here and the white, and then photos. That's their color thing. Okay. As you scroll down, you can, again, look at more stuff. Then down here at the bottom, you can join their email, get 20% off, contact us. They've got a phone number here. They've got all their social media assets. They've also got some additional offers, and they've got locations. So I'm assuming they're in stores, or they actually have their own stores, chat and email. So let's talk. So it's probably a chat bot that I guess is probably up. Looks like it's right here. So again, do you want to have a chat bot? Should you think about those things? Then next we have happy, whatever this is. Happy, I don't know how to say that, so I'm not even going to try to say it. So this is their site when you first come to it. And then you have to scroll down before you get to their actual products. So I want you to notice something. So I just came to this site. I'm going to refresh it. And they have the store right here. But what everyone else did was they made sure that you could see some products so that you can find the products when you first come to the page. So I design funnels on the side, like not on the side, but I actually do it for different people and myself. And when I design funnels, one of the first things that I learned is make sure that people can see the majority of what you want them to see or do or take action, called a call to action, in the first scroll on the first page. And that if they have to scroll down to take action, then it could lead to a situation where people are abandoning your store, abandoned cart. So I noticed that the majority of these, like there was a buy button right in the middle when you first get there, or somewhere where you could see it. Maybe it was down here, but you could still see it. And there's not one here. So I have to go to store. And then once I go to store, I still have to scroll down before I see products. So again, that's, I didn't design this store. I'm not a Shopify expert, but I would think, and then I think, what they've done, their theme is very whimsical and it's cute, but, having your products where people can see it in the first part of the scroll, instead of having to scroll down to get to it, is so much better. So be thinking about that, because you want people to buy. You want them to see what you have immediately so they don't have to walk all over the screen to find it. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents worth. It may not be worth anything, but I just wanted to share. So then anyway, I have to scroll down. I can see some of the products. I can go into the products if I want to kind of look at them. So again, come to these pages, look at them, look at what the information is that's there on the page. So they don't get any additional details. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. So the way that you have to scroll down to see the additional details. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, or scroll up, one or the other. So there's the additional details. It pops up above. Okay. It finally started activating. Maybe I've been sitting on the page too long. So anyway, come and look at the store, look at how they're laid out, their background, their colors, that their menu options are over on the side. And, they've got their social media. Those don't float, they don't move. And that's about it. Like, just come and look at it and see what you think, see how you feel about it. And, make some notes of things you like, you don't like, whatever it happens to be. All right, the next one is, what is it? Bio light energy. Okay, so this one, again, when I first come to the page, I can buy things immediately. That's the difference that stood out for me. Like I could literally go shopping immediately for all the pages, except for that one. I can see that I get the free shipping notification at $55. I see that they've got a new headlamp that they're highlighting up at the top. I see their mission. When I click or rest my mouse, not even click, I see the drop down of the different options of things that they sell. Okay. I also want you to notice their logo. Like, pay attention to the others' logos as well. But notice their logo and their mission. Does this make you think of what this site is all about? Does this logo make you feel like that? Their mission, you can go look at their mission. As I scroll down, I can see that they've got things grouped together by the different collections, call them different catalogs, whatever. And, if I click on it, I can go into those things. All right. See how they have their page laid out. So you can do some additional shopping, back in stock, say 20, 30% off, that kind of stuff. Okay. Gear that gives back. So if I want to learn a little bit more about that giving back, I can keep scrolling down and a mission. They give back to the community. You can sign up for their newsletter. They got their social media assets. It's on a Black background. They've got, their specific font. You can become an affiliate of their program, which is great. You become a reseller. This is great. So again, and then climate neutral. So they've got an actual tag here, certificate, that they have been certified. Is there something that you sell that you've been certified in? All right. So I think those were a good review. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. And since we looked at the stores, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to conduct some keyword research on your product or niche. I also want you to review, there's a link that is not here. I don't know why it's not. The Shopify, starting a business. There's a couple of things that they have on that checklist about starting a business. So you can click on Shopify, how to start a business, I think it's what it is. And on the Shopify, how to start a business, some of the things they're going to talk about, which is, one of the questions they're going to ask you is your business registered, not registered, that kind of stuff. So again, pay attention to that. That's important information. So let's go get started. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to sign up for Shopify. You're going to visit shopify.com and you're going to sign up to create an account. So you're going to click on the free trial button, and then you're going to enter your store name or unique name, and you're going to enter your name, address, and what products are you, what are the products that you are going to offer? And we're going to go through, I'm just playing around, and then, and what do I sell? I'm not sure. So let's go look at that. So when you go to shopify.com, up in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the Start a Shopify store. So or you can click on, put in your email address and click on Start a Shopify free trial. Now, here's the deal. If you already have a Shopify store, you can put in your existing email address that you already have for your current Shopify store and put in the password for that. And then put in a new store name if you want to create a new store that's attached to the same email address. So again, if you want to create a new store that's attached to the same email address, then you come here, you put in the same email address that you have already established and the password, and you put in a new store name. And then you will have two stores attached to the same email account. That's one way to get yourself set up to have multiple stores. For each one of those stores, you are paying for each one of those plans separately. So just know that. And then we'll talk as we get into apps, how you can have one store and use the Shopify app to have multiple storefronts. So it's a different model, multiple storefronts versus multiple stores. So in this example, we're going to put in our email address, we're going to establish a password, and we're going to type in a store name and click Create Store. Then after we create store, they're going to ask us to tell them a little bit about us. And so you can choose the drop down. And the drop down options are, I'm interested in starting a new business, I want to use Shopify for an existing business, or I just want to play around. So you can choose either one of those two. You're interested in starting a new business, or you have an existing business if you already have a Shopify store. But for the purposes of this exercise, we're going to choose, I'm just playing around, so that we can see all of these. We can manipulate this as often as we want to, because we're trying to figure out what we want to do. So our store will definitely not be live, because we're still working through what we're going to do. And after you do next, and if you are a developer, you can choose that developer box that was there right here. You're designing a store for a client. Some people do that. They just create stores for people in advance. Okay, so then the next thing is putting in your address. And so, you put your name, you put your address, and we're going to talk about some address stuff. You can always come back and edit this, and your phone number. And if you have a website already, you can populate. If you don't have a website, you can leave that blank. And this store is a registered business. So you've already got your business established. One of the things I said was go back and Google Shopify, how to start a business. And they're going to give you a couple of checklist items that you need to go through so that you can, get your business set up right. You can create your store with your own Social Security number and do a DBA, doing business as. That is a choice. That's an option. So you can set your store up with that configuration. Or, if you've already got an LLC established and you can, or whatever you've got established, then you can go ahead and put that information in, whether it's a sole proprietorship or whatever. Okay. DBA is a sole proprietorship, but if you have one that's specific to whatever your store structure is or your business structure is. So if you don't have some business structure set up, I would encourage you to get that done this week, so that way you can move along and be able to go live without any challenges or concerns. I also would encourage you, one of the things that they're going to talk about on how to start a business is get some business insurance. I think that's one of the things that's often overlooked. Business insurance is going to reduce your liability and your risk over time. If you're selling products and people are buying them, anything and everything could go wrong. There's a big lawsuit a few years ago. I forget, either it was on eBay or Amazon, where there was a person that was allergic to something or something got caught, and someone was injured. So you never know, like if you're selling clothes, if it's made with a certain material, make sure you indicate that material on your website. This is cotton, this is polyester, this is satin, whatever it happens to be. And if there's something unique about it, like, if it's earth friendly, and so they've woven in hemp oil from the mountains, or hemp thread from the mountains, and you need to put that in there. Some people might be allergic. So if it's small things that can get, choking for kids, make sure you note that. It'll reduce your liability over time, and make sure you get some insurance. Okay. So I don't know what you're going to be selling, but just do the right thing to make sure that you're set up correctly. So then once you hit submit, or once you hit enter my store, you're going to come to this page. This is really technically your dashboard. And then you can click on, since you're in a free trial, you can click on select a plan. Once you click on select a plan, it's going to bring you to the pricing. Again, I recommended the $29. That's my recommendation. That's my suggestion. You can choose the $79 if you want to. I'm just trying to minimize your cost. They won't charge that until after your 14 days. So then this will be the page. If you go ahead and attach that, you want to add your credit card. So again, $29 every 30 days. You can pay it all up front, save yourself $36. I didn't pay it all up front. I just went ahead and I'm paying the $29. Add your credit card. Then after you add your credit card, then it's going to bring you back to your page where it says add a product. So before you add a product, I just want to make sure that make you aware of some of the other setup that you have. So when you get orders, you'll be able to come here and you'll be able to see your orders. You'll also be able to see your abandoned checkouts. You'll see draft orders. So if you need to create an order on the back end, this is where you can do it. So if somebody has contacted you to be able to buy something, like maybe you personally know, like your mom wants to buy something from you. If you want to create an order for her, you can. Products. So if you've got a product list that you want to import, you can click on that little drop down up at the top under the words products, and not drop down, but the import your products. You can add products one at a time. It's your choice. If you already have existing products, you can find products. But you'll see that you have all products, your inventory, transfers, and then collections and gift cards. Again, products. These are all the things that you're going to offer in your store. So again, we're going to go through this next week when we go through adding products. I think it's next week. Customers, again, if you already have a customer list, maybe you were selling on WooCommerce, you were selling on some other platform, you were selling with funnels, you can import your customer list so you can market to them and drive traffic to your new Shopify store. So you can do that. You can manually add customers, your choice. And analysis, there's going to be some reports you can get. You'll be able to get more reports at the higher level, but you can get some basic data about your store just by looking at this. So under analytics, you can review what's happening with your store and your sales and activity. Then there was marketing and discounts and apps. We're going to go over marketing in another session. We're going to go over discounts in another session. We're going to go over apps. So let's go ahead and let's move on to talk about store themes. Okay. So your store theme is what is the look and feel that you want to choose for your specific store. So we looked at some actual stores before, and they had to choose a theme in order to pull up, to bring up that store. You can get somebody that's a coder and do some additional things after you, get a theme created or select the theme and have them edit the code. It's your call. But once you scroll down, you'll be able to see your options for free themes versus paid themes or all themes. So when you choose, you can look at the free themes, you'll get a pop-up, and this is what it looks like. And you can just scroll through this and look at the free themes from this vantage point and choose one of them if you want to. So you just double click on it to choose it. Or you can choose the other button, which was the button that was before this, which is Visit Theme Store. And once you choose Visit Theme Store, you're going to come here and you can look at all the themes if you want to. So you can click on all themes, and once you do, you'll see a boatload of themes and you can choose which one you want. Once you choose the theme that you want, you're going to click on Add Theme, and then it will show up in your Shopify back office. Not customized yet, so then you're ready to go. Okay, so I've added a theme just for the purposes of the exercise. And then the next thing you would do is we are going to go through, we're not going to cover blog posts, but we are going to cover pages, navigation, and preferences. And we'll go through that after we get some other decisions made. So these are things that we're going to be working through. Your pages, some of your navigation stuff, and some of your preferences we'll be covering, I think, in class 4, or maybe it's class 3. So domains. You can buy a domain directly through Shopify, or you can buy your own domain and attach it to Shopify. So here's the deal. If you buy the domain through Shopify, it's definitely a Shopify store, and it's attached to Shopify forever. And I would just recommend that you buy your own domain, so that if you decide you want to move off of Shopify, go to Wix, go to Weebly, go to WooCommerce, go to BigCommerce, whatever you want to do, create your own WordPress, then you can do whatever you want to with that domain. And it's yours, you own it, the brand, and you can sell it. With the Shopify store, I know that you can sell it, but again, you want to build up social media assets that go with not only domain, but the URL. So I would encourage you to choose your own or buy your own domain. Don't choose to buy your domain through Shopify. Okay. So we went through a lot of stuff. This is actually the back office. This is the latest. Like I just set all this up brand new 2 days ago. So again, it's all brand new, and that gives you the opportunity to see what the pages look like today. All right, so as we go through this, some of the things that the fields that they had us populate like the address and the email address and phone number, and talk about domains. So here's my recommendation. One, you can get a PO box, the USPS, or use some other small business service. Like there's some little mailbox post or something, post.net or whatever. When you drive down the street and you see these little mailbox places that process mail or pick up your packages or whatever, sometimes they'll have PO boxes in there, and you can choose those. You can go to your UPS store and you can choose to get a mailbox through them. And then that way you can put a physical address with a suite number. So you can say, it can be an actual UPS store, but it'll be, whatever the address is, 1234 Happy Street. And then it'll be suite number 125 if that's your PO box number. So you can use that as a physical address. Some people, if they choose to, they could go ahead and get not a virtual office, but do the shared workspace. You could do that as well. I'm not doing all that. I'm just going to do I have a PO box, but I also have the physical address that's associated with the PO box. So there you go. That's one of your mail options. You can also look into anytime mailbox or virtual post mail. The reason you would look into those is because you can actually sign up to have your mail delivered to them. They'll open it and scan it, and so you can receive your mail virtually. So they'll open it up and scan it. If it's mail, if it's boxes, whatever, they'll store. Some of them, I think, virtual post mail will store it for a period of time. So go look into that for address options. And then that way, when you're ready to set up your store, you have that option. Email options. So I would recommend that you purchase a domain. And then once you purchase a domain, create your email account from there. So it's attached to the domain name. And that way it looks more professional. And then you can use the functionality in the back of your domain settings to do email forwarding. So you can actually forward it to your Gmail account. So you can just check your Gmail or your Outlook or your Yahoo. So I would encourage you to create a Yahoo, Gmail, or Outlook account, or create all three so you own all those assets. So why would you do that? So I own eCom Sellers everything, eCom Sellers Summit, eCom Sellers Academy, eCom Sellers Mastery. So I own those domains as well. And I have a regular account that's Nicole at ecomsellersmastery.com. And then I have a forwarding rule that goes to ecomsellersmastery@gmail.com. So I can just receive the emails from the Gmail account and not actually have to set up a physical email. It's your choice on if you want to do that or not. You can actually buy, sign up for an actual email service. But I'm trying to keep your costs at a minimum. So if you go with option number one, which is, your address option, the anytime mailbox or the virtual post mail, that's inexpensive. So is the UPS store physical address. Like, I think that's the second least expensive. As far as like setting up a Gmail, that's easy because then you can attach that Gmail to everything, or you can set up a Google account and Gmail will come with it. And buying a domain, you can buy a domain as low as, anywhere from $8 to $25. I mean, you don't spend more than $25 for a domain. Like, you should be able to get one for $12 and $14 and $10, depending on which domain you choose. Now, your phone, you can create a Google Voice account. You can also choose Grasshopper to answer your calls. That's actually called voice over internet. I forget what the P stands for, but it's VoIP, VoIP. And the great thing about that is you can have your calls forwarded to your regular phone, like your cell phone or your office phone or whatever, or you can set up a voicemail and they'll get a voicemail message when they call that number, and then you'll get a notification through email. And you'll also get you can get a notification. You can leave it on your phone if you want to. So again, I have a Google Voice account. I love it. And we don't have Grasshopper. Grasshopper costs money. Google Voice is free. So if you set up a Google account, you can activate Google Voice, and we'll go look at that in just a second. And then you can also set up an 800 number. So we have an 800 number as well. It's through Freedom Voice. It's inexpensive. So setting up an 800 number, again, you saw some of those pages where they had an 800 number at the top. That's why you would do that. So you want to get some of that set up. So at this point, based on what I'm recommending, you might be into this for about $25, maybe. We'll see. Some of it, well, maybe more than 25, maybe 50, because you're going to get your PO box and or your UPS or your anytime box, whatever you're going to decide there, and then you're going to get the Google Voice, and you have to buy a domain. So all of that, you may be into a $25 to $50 at this point into your Shopify business, in addition to the $29. Just trying to keep you up to speed on where we are. And then domains. So consider purchasing your domain through Google Domains, because the great thing about it is people are doing what? They're doing Google searches. So if you have a Google domain, you're going to get some level of presence or priority over some of the other domains immediately. That's a great thing. Then you have Namecheap and GoDaddy. Those would be the only three that I recommend for your Shopify store. So choose one of those three. I have a Namecheap account, so it's great, and I love it. And then do some keyword research on your niche or the products you plan on selling so that you can figure out what your domain name is going to be. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. So let me escape out of this for just a second, and we're going to go look at the Google Voice. So once you set up a Google account, so this is like my Gmail account, and I refer to this as the Rubik's Cube. It's really the 9 dots in the square. Once you click on this, you'll see these all of these options for what you can do inside of Google, which is amazing and great. And all of these are free tools that you get with this, like Google Meet is a free tool, Duo is a free tool, Google Sheets and Google Docs is a free tool, Google Translate, Blogger. I mean, it's just crazy. Podcasts, so setting up your own podcast, but just all of this, Google Classroom. If you click on More from Google, what you're going to come to is this page that has all of these options. This is what's going to show up, More from Google. And if you scroll all the way down, almost towards the bottom, just come all the way down, almost towards the bottom, you will find Google Voice right here. You just click on it, whatever Gmail account or whatever Google account you're signed into right then, that's the one it's going to try to set up. So make sure you're on the right Google account. You've logged out if you have multiple Google accounts, and I have multiples, that you're logged out of the other one so that you get the Google Voice for the account that you want. So that's how Google Voice works. If you go to Keywords Anywhere to do research, Keywords Anywhere, you can install the Chrome extension. But again, doing research, once you do that, you'll be able to do research on your products and the words that are going to be most important, maybe that you're going to potentially use in your domain name, your store name. Okay, we did a lot of stores, so we got some really great ideas. Okay. All right, so now let's go to the next thing on the list. And I hope you find all of this helpful. The next thing on the list for us to do is your store name and domain. Oh, we just went through that. So I'm gonna go through this, and this is all important information. So the first thing is make sure that you choose the right domain extension. .com is highly recommended. I mean, it is the most searched. .net is next. So .com is the easiest to remember. And there's a lot of .coms that have been bought up. So there's not that many .coms available left. Make sure that it's, if you are really going after a long-term, bigger picture, you want this to be a brand, then keep that in mind. So we looked at that whole Pip Corns versus Pip Snacks. I think that's what it was, Pop, Pip. And, you know, they're going after a specific brand. It's Pip. So they got snacks. So think long-term. Think of if you were to sell this whole thing, then the domain, the store, social media assets, the email list, like all of that, what that might look like. So there's some level of continuity. And so don't try to be generic, really try to brand it if you can. Think long-term, not short-term. Try to do a short name. Do not create something that's a long name that people have to be forced to remember. I got to get a notepad to write it down. Let me record you over a voice recorder because I'm never going to remember your store. So shorter names, easier to remember. Go back and look at some of the examples we gave. Most of them are short names. There's a couple, there's like two that are maybe a little bit longer names. One of them I couldn't even pronounce. So, okay. Then make sure it's easy to type and make sure it's easy to pronounce. Again, one of them I couldn't even pronounce. So keep all of that in mind. You want something that's memorable, easy to pronounce. Don't use hyphens. I definitely recommend don't use hyphens because people don't type like that. But numbers may or may not be relevant. So I'm going to give you an example. So 23andMe, which is that genetic testing thing that they offer, 23andMe, like that makes sense to actually have a number in the domain. So when genetic testing, when people Google genetics testing, 23andMe is going to come up over everybody else because it's the numbers. Numbers come up before letters. So that's another thing. So if it makes sense to put a number in there, then do it. Don't do the hyphen. Just don't. It's a waste of your time. People won't be able to find your stuff. Okay? Then consider using a niche words to reflect your site, your store. You know, pull up similar names. So here's the deal. Let's say we're back to the whole cat toys versus cat beds, and you came up with some name for your store, and there's another store that's similar or maybe has a similar domain name, but it's not even related. Like it's not related at all. Maybe they're selling, I don't know, blinds with cat designs on the outside of them. So you're like, wait a minute, this has nothing to do with that. If it's too close to something that's already like there's no connection, then maybe consider choosing a completely different name. So if yours is going to be, I don't know, cat toys, and another one that's, I don't know. Nope, that's probably not a good example. So one of them is cat stuff, and another one is cat stuffings or something like that. And theirs is all about furnishings, which would mean the blinds, and yours is cat stuff. and people, you know, when they do a Google search, they're higher ranked than your store is, so then they're coming up before your store, all of that stuff. You know, you might want to consider doing something different. So look to see if there is a store name that's similar to yours that's not even related, or there is one that is related and you're unintentionally driving traffic to their store because your names are so close. So don't do that. Don't do that. All right, confirm that the name that you're about to choose is not trademarked. And then also consider looking or using domain name generators if you get stuck. For sure, do that. There's a couple that are listed here. Go and look these up. businessnamegenerator.com/domain name generator is great. Shopify has a domain name generator as well. So go take a look at that, Google it. The next thing on the list is to think about your logo and your colors. So your logo, you can choose a logo that, actually you can choose a couple of logos for free. You can go to a couple of sites, I think like Hatchful.shopify will allow you to create a logo for free. Namecheap, Logo Maker for free, Taylor Brands for free. So go create some logos first and just see if they feel like your store, your brand, feel like something you would stick with. You can also choose Fiverr. Fiverr is always an option. There's other logo generating options. I'm giving you some free ones because again, we're trying to keep your costs down. In addition to that, go check out Canva because you can create some logos inside of Canva. Now, the paid version will also allow you to create a branding kit. So you can choose your colors, you can choose your font, you can choose all kinds of stuff, and you can generate a logo if you have the paid Canva account. I have a paid Canva account. So you can create a branding kit that may help you with your look and feel for your store. In addition to that, go do some research on color psychology because there are certain colors that draw a certain type of audience or that a certain audience is most interested in. So again, go back and look at the sites that we looked at. We looked at just 5. Go look at some of your competitors. Look at what colors they chose. You do not have to copy them. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it will inspire you to come up with some ideas. Maybe you have some similar color palettes, or maybe you have a completely different color palette because you did some research on color psychology. So there's so many different sites about color psychology. They're going to give you a bunch of information about which colors and how people react to them, what causes people to buy, what causes people to take, be cautious about it. So I will tell you, a perfect example is like the color red. So red is typically a bold color and it's excitement. It can also mean caution to some people when you do color psychology research. And so if you have a lot of red on your website, unless you're selling lipstick or nail polish, like that may not be the jam, or makeup that needs those colors, then you may want to choose something else a little softer, not as bold, to attract and keep people looking at the site. So a perfect example of that is you can go do research on Kylie Jenner's makeup brand and look at her site and look at her colors. She has soft color palettes. So again, go do research. You need to figure out your font. You'll be able to choose your font inside of Canva, or you can use whatever tool you want to. But if you go through and play with their brand kit, you can choose your font, you can choose your colors, you can generate a logo, and go create some free logos. All right. So I thought I had Canva up and color psychology. Hold on. So this is one color psychology guide. It talks through what colors and what causes people to either take action or not, what interests people. And they've got some sites and they've got the colors on the sites. So kind of read through, this is just one of many articles. You can just do a Google search to find several of the articles, but just notice how the colors and the site work together and the fonts and the site work together, okay? So go do that research. See on this one, the brown tones, and then they've got the tannish tones to go to complement the brownish tones. Not a lot of bright, vibrant colors on here. They've got the green for the buy or the shop now. So, And then Canva, when you log into Canva, this is my paid account, but anyway, you'll see templates. You have a bunch of different options for templates, and logos are in here. So again, up at the top, templates, and you can go to business and logo, and then, just play around and see what it creates. And don't overlook that Shopify has a logo builder as well. So go and play with that and see what you like, see what it does. All right. And then the next thing we want you to do is we need you to get prepared to acquire your social media assets. Here's the deal. All of the sites that we looked at had links to their social media. And go and click on that social media. Go and click on your competitor's social media. Make some notes, because all of this setup is a lot of setup, okay? You want to hire a VA to do the work for you, that's fine. If you want to do it yourself and control it, that's fine too. But you're going to have to eventually make sure that your social media is up and running, if nothing else, your Facebook. You can set up the accounts to create the accounts and then park those, like don't activate them, don't make them live. I own a lot of like Facebook pages that aren't alive right now. Make sure you create them for Instagram and Pinterest and LinkedIn and Twitter, especially if you're selling physical products. Pinterest is going to be like whatever physical products you're selling, that Pinterest is an unsung hero. LinkedIn, in case people want to get in contact with you or do business with you, it makes you look more legitimate. And then Twitter. And if you're going to, if there's products that involve videos of some type, then go ahead and get your Google account set up. And with that, again, we went through Google Voice, Gmail, YouTube. I got YouTube twice there. Google Ads, you can run Google Ads with your Google account. So make sure you set up a business page with Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. You can set up a business Pinterest page, LinkedIn, Twitter, all that stuff. Set up your business pages. So I'm going to go to, let's go here. I don't know what's over here. So this is Mountains. So their page, look at their page. They got an animation that goes across. It's probably about 10 seconds long. It's cute. And this is their page. They've got their profile pic. They've got an animation. You don't have to have animation. They got a shop now button here so you can find them. Okay. They've got their other stuff with YouTube. They've got pictures. Again, this is stuff that's going to take time to get going, but it is worth it long term. So yours won't be ready to go. You won't be ready to go. It won't be set up, but you can definitely, like, over time, get here. So make sure you go set it up, and make sure when you buy it, or not when you buy it, when you set it up, that you create it with your store name. So whatever your domain name is, click on create, go to page, go to business or brand. And once you go to business and brand, click on get started, and then type in that business or brand, whatever your domain name is, or if it's called cat stuff, then put cat stuff. If it's called whatever it's called, then type that in, and then put the category. So I'm just going to type some gibberish here. And if it is in pets, then look, when I start typing pet, I got pet supply, pet store, pet groomer, pet sitter. So you can choose what's appropriate for your business, and then begin the process of setting it up, but don't make it live. Same thing with Instagram. Same thing with just go and acquire or create the Instagram account. Now, you can create the Instagram account, I believe, from Facebook now, because Facebook bought Instagram, I think, 3 years ago. And I keep forgetting that you can do that. So go do that, create your account, your social media assets, because what you would hate to do is go do all this work and get this amazing domain and create this amazing store, and then somebody else gets the Facebook page with that name on it, or somebody else has the Pinterest page with that name on it, and they start driving traffic to products because you didn't go get it. So make sure that you have you go create the accounts for every single one of them on every single platform. Just park them, keep them dark until you're ready to use them. Create them as business accounts. But go get that, because there's nothing like somebody stealing the idea from up under you and taking your Facebook page from you. And then you have to do some kind of weird naming convention with something else on the end of it, like blah, 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 LLC. Well, who's looking it up that way? Nobody's looking it up that way. They're looking it up by your store name on Shopify. So go get that right now. Like, go set it up. Okay. All right. So we covered a lot today. we covered a lot of important and beneficial information. So what I want you to do, your homework for next week, you have a lot of homework. So last week, your homework was determine your niche, determine your business model and your store model, and determine your niche. And also creating your schedule and setting up your why. So the next thing that you need to do this week is you're going to review this video. You want to go and review similar stores or concepts that are similar to where you're wanting to go. Again, yours is not going to be just like theirs. Remember, their store, some of them may have hired a developer, they may have done all kinds of stuff. So we want to do minimally, make sure we have the basics of your store ready to go. You can always make enhancements to your store over time. I want you to set up your Shopify accounts. You know, if you need to go create your phone number thing that I told you, the voice, the Google Voice account, set up your anytime mail or whichever virtual post mail or whatever it is. Create an email account, buy your domain so you can create an email account. So determine your domain name and then buy the domain. We gave you some options on how to do that. Figure out your color scheme, figure out your logo, go create a logo. Again, you have all those options to do it free. You can pay for a logo, your Fiverr, your choice. Acquire your store name, social media assets, all of them. Whatever the name is of the domain, those are the social media assets you want to get, okay? So make sure you go through that checklist for the domain on the domain page. So go back and watch that part of the video so you don't miss that part. And then follow the schedule that you created. That means you're working in your business. You're doing stuff to get you ready for Black Friday. Next week, you're going to have a bunch of stuff going on. Make sure that you're reviewing your why. We don't have the daily target number, so that shouldn't be there. And then attend the Q&A if you have any questions. So next week, we're going to be going over sourcing and sourcing strategies. We're going to be adding a product. We're going to talk about print on demand. We're going to learn how to optimize our listings. We're going to go through free and paid apps and upsell apps. And we're going to talk about your numbers. That's going to be a long session. So I hope that everybody can attend. I hope that you're ready for that session. And then if you have any questions, you can attend the Q&A session before next week. These are the 2 Q&A times. My name is Nicole Whitlock. We are so glad that you're here. And the Q&A times are actually in the email, your welcome email when you join eCom Sellers Mastery. So I hope it's helpful to you. I hope it's a blessing to your business. Go out and take action right now. You have a lot of stuff to do this week. I need you to make a lot of decisions so that you can get the ball rolling with this business. Okay, bye for now.